Hi, I'm Emily with the Office of Ethics. Today, I'll be demonstrating how to complete the form USDA OE-101, Request for Approval of Outside Activity. If you're required to submit an annual financial disclosure report, then you must receive prior agency approval and an ethics review before you begin your outside activity or employment. You can do this by filling out an OE-101. Some agencies also require non-filers to obtain approval, so it's best to check with your supervisor or ethics advisor. An outside activity that requires approval can be paid or unpaid. There are some exceptions and exemptions depending upon your agency. Be sure to reach out to your ethics advisor before engaging in any outside activity or employment. To find the OE-101, go to our website and look at the left-hand side. You'll find a forms link where all of our Office of Ethics forms can be found. Click this link, then scroll down to find your agency-specific OE-101. Let's get started. Part 1 is mostly your information. If this is your first OE-101 request, you'll check this box. If you're just revising a prior request, select this one. Part 1, Block 6, asks if you're a financial disclosure filer. If you're completing this form, you're likely a 450 or 278 filer, unless you're in an agency that requires non-filers to obtain approval. Then you'd select Other. List your immediate supervisor's information in Block 7. Part 2 asks for information regarding your outside activity. Select what type of activity you'd like to perform and give us some information about it. The more detail you provide to the Office of Ethics, the better analysis we can provide for you. This box should be checked if you're operating as a sole proprietor. You would also list the nature of the business. If you're teaching, speaking, or writing, you'll have to provide a syllabus, outline, summary, synopsis, draft, or similar description of the content and subject matter involved. You should also provide the written invitation if you received one. Part 2, Block 2, is requesting your outside employer's information. Be as detailed as possible here. Block 5 asks if any travel is involved. If so, provide an estimated amount of costs and provide a little detail. Block 6 requests the time and duration of your outside activity. It also asks when you will begin this outside job and when you will end it. Here, you'll list the general hours per day, days per week, and weeks per year. Remember, regardless of the length of your approved period, if your USDA duties change or the scope or nature of the outside activity changes, you may need to obtain a new approval. Block 6C asks whether the outside activity will be performed outside of normal duty hours. If you mark no, you'll need to describe how often you'll be absent from work and what kind of leave you'll be taking. In Block 7, indicate whether you will be receiving any compensation. If so, select what type and provide any details. If not, select no for 7A through 7D. If you are receiving compensation, carry on to Block 7B. Here, it asks if you're getting paid by anyone other than your employer. If so, explain the situation here. Block 7C is asking if the source of funding is derived from a USDA grant, contract, cooperative agreement, or other source of federal funding. Usually this is marked no, but if yes, provide an explanation. If you're receiving compensation for your consultative or professional services, read through 7D. It is asking if the source you're providing a service for is receiving or intends to receive or apply for a grant, contract, cooperative agreement, or any other funding from USDA. Remember to be as detailed as possible if you select yes. Part 3, Block 1, requires you to attach a PDF of your USDA job description and provide a short explanation of your responsibilities. The following questions are important to us in our ethics analysis. The answers to these questions allow us to help you avoid a conflict of interest. Remember, the more information, the better. Part 3, Block 2, asks if your official duties relate to your proposed outside activity. Provide an explanation here. Block 3 asks if your official duties could affect your proposed outside employer. If so, provide an explanation here. Block 4 asks if you've been assigned to anything in your official work that involves the proposed outside entity. Provide any extra details here. Finally, you will electronically sign and date in Part 3, Block 5, then send the completed form to your immediate supervisor for their review and approval. The immediate supervisor will then review the form, read through Part 4, Block 1, and provide a supervisor statement in Block 2. Here, the supervisor will explain how the proposed outside activity does or does not relate to the employee's official duties. They will then either approve or disapprove. If approved, the immediate supervisor will electronically sign and date, then send to the approving agency official for their review. The approving agency official will vary upon agency. If you're unsure who it should be, just ask your supervisor or an ethics advisor. Once the approving agency official completes and signs Part 5, the OE-101 should be sent to your agency-specific ethics inbox for an ethics review. If there are no ethical objections, we will recommend approval and provide ethics guidance to the employee and supervisory chain. Of course, if any questions arise, an employee should always reach out to their designated ethics specialist for assistance. Thanks for watching and have a great day.